Hey y'all, thanks for coming. What's up? So is anybody who in here is a super beginner on Instagram? It's okay if you are.
Maybe me.
Okay.
Kind of beginner.
Okay.
You at these posts.
Well, yeah.
My last
Yeah.
post was 2014.
Yay! Well, hopefully we can change that. Okay, I just want to gauge it to see what kind of levels we're dealing with. So, glad y'all are here. Instagram is my very favorite app, so I'm really excited to talk about it. Y'all probably saw in the email, I'm sure y'all have your phones, and then if you downloaded the photo editing apps, that's fine. If not, you can just watch along, but if you have them, you can edit along with me. 2 of them cost money, so don't feel pressured to get them. You can check it out and see if you like it and then decide. And then I use an iPhone, so all my demos are going to be iPhone centric. All the apps are available for Android, and I don't think there's any features that are just on iPhone, but you know, the menus might be a little bit different. So we can work through that if you have any big questions. Okay, so here's what we're going to be talking about. I'll do a really quick demo of the basics of using the app. If you have more questions on that, you can get with me afterwards, but I'm going to have to kind of speed through it a little bit. Then we'll talk about general etiquette for Instagram. I'm going to show you 4 photo editing apps. We'll walk through how to use Instagram stories. And I can move so y'all can see better. And then talking about branding your feed for a unified look. All right, so let's look at the basics. Let me see if I can make this work. Yay, okay. This is my personal Instagram, so there might be a lot of dogs in here. I swear I follow more dogs than humans. Cool, so this is your home feed, and it's gonna show you posts from everybody that you follow. It is driven by an algorithm, so the people that you like their posts a lot or have followed recently or engage with, it's going to show those people more. So if you see a photo that you think is great, you can hit the heart button to like it, or you can tap the photo twice and it likes it. You can comment on photos, and then if you see a photo that you like, you can, if you see something that you think your friend would like, you can mention them in the comment by doing the @ symbol and starting to type their name, and they'll get a notification about that post. Then you can also reply to specific people by hitting the reply button. And all right, that's commenting. One of my favorite features, I don't know about you guys, but I get a ton of inspiration from Instagram, whether it's home decor ideas or graphic design or all, places I want to travel to. So there's this little flag in the corner, and you can hit it, and that saves it to your collections. And then if you go to your profile, there's a flag and these icons at the top, and you can see all the photos that you've saved. Because it's almost impossible if you can't remember the account to go back and find something.
Where was it?
All right, so on your profile, that flag right above your photos. You can group them into collections, so you can have all your beauty stuff in one place, all your home, that kind of stuff. And y'all stop me if you have questions. Cool. Okay, then Instagram also has direct messages. So this is great if you want to talk back and forth with someone, or if you want to reply to somebody famous that you follow and hope that they read it and comment back. So the top right is this little paper airplane, and that's going to take you to your direct message inbox. And then other things you can do with direct messages, if you go to someone's page that you follow, you can hit message and it'll start a message with them. And then if you we'll talk more about Instagram stories in a second, but if you're watching an Instagram story, this lady is so funny. I don't even know what that's about. Anyway, if you're watching an Instagram story and you hit send message, that's going to start a direct message with them. So if you want to find it later, you go back to your inbox and click into that message. Cool. And then on posts, you'll also see the paper airplane icon. So if you wanted to tell somebody about a post privately, you can hit that button, find their name, and send it to them in a direct message. So then let's talk about different ways that you can post. So to post a photo, you're going to go to the plus button at the bottom. And sorry, I have screenshots in here, so it looks really weird. But hold on. Whatever. Okay. So you can post a regular photo just by selecting it from the bottom. You can also, one of my favorite things is to do multi-photo posts. They added this recently. You're going to hit this icon on the right that has like multiple little layers. And it'll put a 1 on one of your photos, and then you can select other ones. And you can do photos and videos as a mixture. And then when you go to next, you'll be able to see how they all look when you swipe through. And then whenever you post, people can swipe through the photos. This is great. We'll talk about this a little bit in the etiquette, but unlike Facebook, where back in the day you would upload all 400 of your vacation photos in an album, don't do that on Instagram. Don't spam somebody's feed with a million photo posts in a row. If you want to post a bunch of photos from an event, you can do it in one of these, and that's a really great way to group things together.
Is there a maximum?
I've seen people do up to like 15 or 20. I mean, I'm sure you can't do a million, but
Right.
I think you can do quite a few. Let's see what else. Then whenever you have your post ready to go, you'll go in and type your caption. And then one thing I like to do, we'll talk more about hashtags as we go along, but instead of putting all your hashtags right there with your caption, I like to go in, hit the number button, and then that gives you the return key. It might be different on Android, but sometimes it's hard to find that option. I like to do a period and enter a couple of times just to space out my caption from the hashtags. I'll show you on the feed in a second, but people do this where you have to click read more on the caption and it'll show you the hashtag. So that way your caption really stands out. So we'll put hashtags down here. And then if there's a person in your post, you can tag people. And then choose the location that your post is. And then if you have your Facebook connected to your Instagram account, you can hit this button here and post the exact same thing to Facebook. But be aware that the caption is going to be exactly the same. The posts are going to show up a little bit differently. But that's an easy way if you're trying to do marketing and want to do double duty. Let's see what else. Great. Okay. So get out of this. And I'll try to, let me find one of those captions. Well, she did it with one dot, but anyway, it separates it out. All right, then let's talk about how to find people to follow. If you're super new and only have a couple people in your feed, one thing you can do is go to this search button at the bottom. Hopefully there's not anything weird in here. But sometimes it's a little crazy. Based on the things that you've liked, the people that you're following, it'll show you things that you might be interested in. So if you find something that looks cool, like dogs, you can go in and look at this post. You could follow this person, or you can scroll down. Oh, this is just videos. Let me go to a different one. Okay. More dogs. Okay, whatever. All right, so if you scroll down, you can see more posts that are similar to this. And it really does a good job of suggesting things. And then you could follow someone right there. So that's a great way to find new people. Another thing is to go to this heart at the bottom. It will show you your notifications, but if you hit following at the top, it'll show you posts that people you're following are liking. So you can discover some things that other people are crazy about. And then another great thing is just to go to a friend's profile whose taste you respect and you can go and see different people who they're following and follow them. And then, oh, this is my favorite one. If you go to an account and click this down arrow next to the check I'm following them, you will see accounts that are similar to this one, that a lot of other people that follow them follow, post similar things, and it's pretty accurate. So that's that. Another thing, they just added in a feature where you can now follow hashtags. And let's say we click into this one, and you'll see all the posts with that hashtag. We'll look at this later, but if you post an Instagram story and use this hashtag as an overlay on your story, you could potentially show up in it's not working right now, but sometimes there's a story associated with a hashtag. Same thing with a location. So you could get picked up and put into that. But anyway, if you want to keep up with some of this, you can follow the hashtag. Great. All right, any questions about that? That's pretty much all the basics. Cool. Okay. Sure. Okay. See, post just about once a day or a couple times a week. I definitely wouldn't do more than 3 photos a day. That's a little bit too much.
3 photos or 3 independent posts?
3 independent posts. Yeah. So the multi-photo post would just count as 1. Next, this is not aimed at you, Alex, since we had our discussion before, but it's kind of a cliche on Instagram to post photos of your food and coffee. There are exceptions to all of these rules, for sure, but if you are going to post food photos, mix it in with other kinds of content. I mean, if you're a food blogger and that's your thing, whatever, but make sure that your food is well styled and has good lighting, and it's not like your hamburger that has one bite out of it and makes people want to gag. Just don't do it. Then another thing that I see a lot of, mostly people are sharing standard photos rather than graphics that have text on it or like a quote. Nothing's wrong with those. You can certainly do those, but I would make sure that the majority of what you're posting is actual photos, because that's what people respond to best on the network. Emojis are super popular on Instagram, so go crazy in your captions or your comments. And then we talked about hashtags a little bit earlier, but when you're adding hashtags to your photo caption, there's a limit of 30 that you can put on there. So the more hashtags you add, the higher the likelihood that people will find you as they're looking at those hashtags. But hey, but you can only post 30. If you put more than 30 in your caption, when you hit post, your caption will be blank and you'll have to do it over again. So if that's happening to you, that's why. And then do not steal other people's content and post it as your own. If you want to reshare things that someone else has, be sure to go in and comment on the photo and specifically ask for permission to share. If they say, okay, that's great, share it and be sure to mention that they're the ones who created it in the caption, so there's no thinking that you may have stolen it and passing it off as your own. So any questions about that? Cool. All right, let's look at photo editing. So things have changed on Instagram. The trend as far as the look of photos now is to have bright, oh wait, sorry, I changed the slide on here and not for y'all. Okay, the trend is to have photos that are bright and colorful, look really crisp, like you took it with a high quality camera, and not like you just applied a Valencia filter to it. These days are gone. Now, again, there's exceptions to everything that I'm saying. If that's your thing, whatever, you be you. But this is the trend that I'm seeing. A good example of this is a guy I follow, Jeff Mindell. He's a really great photographer. And as you can see, all his photos are super bright and colorful, very crisp, and it doesn't look like they're over-filtered. They're just beautiful to look at, but all of these have been heavily edited and filtered. And I'll show you how to do some of that. So we're going to look at 4 editing apps. You guys may have downloaded some of these, but I'm going to show on the screen what we want to do with those. So the first one we're going to look at is a color story. So this app, and the handout in front of you guys has all the steps that I follow to use these apps. I mean, you can play around with it and figure out how you want to use it, but don't feel like you have to take copious notes of this. And we have the recording, but that walks you through when you want to try it later. So a color story is really great for photos that are bright and colorful like the ones that we just saw from Jeff. So let's take a look at it. And it has a lot of tools in here that previously were only available in Photoshop. So you can really do some high quality editing. So we're going to hit albums on the bottom to choose a photo. And let's do this one. And the first thing it's going to give you the option to do is crop or tilt your photo. This one looks okay as is, so we're going to hit continue. And then the filters in here are really great. So let's go in and look at a little bit of these that might not look super great on the screen, but they have some great options. So I like this one. And then the key to having photos that don't look over edited is you can actually dial down the filter so it's more subtle. So here's none, here's all the way. We're just going to do a little bit, and then you'll hit the check mark. So that's filters. And then I'm going to switch to a different photo to show you some other stuff. All right, so sometimes I do filters first, and sometimes I do other editing first and then do a filter later. So on this one, we're going to do other editing first. So you'll hit the wrench at the bottom, go to adjust, and then curves is this tool that previously was only in Photoshop, and it allows you to adjust the brightness and saturation all at once. So that looks pretty good. And then the other big thing, just a super easy thing to do with photo editing, is to look at your photo and see if the whites look white. So the way you're going to fix those is go into the temperature and the tint. These icons used to have colors, and so it was easier to see, but temperature is going to adjust your blue to yellow ratio, and tint is green to purple. So it might not look like it on here, but on my phone, it looks like this white background is a little bit yellow. So I'm going to go into temperature and dial it down to a little bit more blue, and that looks pretty good. Then I might go into the saturation and dial it up a little bit, and that looks pretty good. So does that make sense to you guys? There's a ton of other options that you can play around with in here. You can add, you won't be able to see it super well in this one, but if you want your photos to have more of a vintage feel, you can make it look a little bit more grainy. There's a lot of things you can do. All right, I'm going to start over with another photo and show you one more thing. Okay. This app also has really good effects. So you can go in, and if you ever see people that have these amazing light flares, it might be real, or they may have just added it with an app. So you can add those to your photo. There's cool bokeh options if you want to add hearts or stars or something like that. And then another good one is this color fog. So it gives you all these options of different colors. You can add fading in from the top. And so this is cool if you want to make a sunset look brighter. I like to use the bluish colors to make the sky look even more blue. And as you drag, you can fade it up a little bit. So that's a super easy one. I am on, so I hit the little flower thing at the bottom, and then color fog. And then I chose mint. So that's really fun. So that's the basic things for a color story. Let me actually show you a couple more things. All right, they just did a huge update for this app, and it has a lot of great new features. Whenever you're done with your photo, you can hit save and grid. And one of the important things on Instagram is to think about how your entire feed looks on your profile. If it looks uniform, or maybe you don't want to post 2 photos of your dog in a row, you want to mix it up. So you can hit Save in Grid, and it's going to show you how this photo will look in comparison to the last photos that you took. Then from there, you can actually schedule your posts using this app. So this is great if you want to do marketing. You'll hit Schedule right here, choose your date, and then the way any Instagram scheduling works, there's a couple of different apps that do this, is it doesn't post it for you without you doing anything, but it sends you a push notification. You'll go into the app, hit post, it'll automatically copy your caption, and you can go over to Instagram and just paste it in and post. So it's still a little bit manual, but that's the best we've got. So that's it for a color story. Does that? Oh, sorry, one more thing. Let's see if I can find it. Let me go into one of these and edit something. Oh, you can also heart filters, and it's going to add it to your favorites, so you don't have to go through all these different folders of filters. Okay, but where is it? All right, when you've added an edit, there's a little, like 3 lines on the bottom left. You'll hit that, and you can save all the steps that you took on that photo as a custom filter. So if you do the exact same thing every time, you can just save that and repeat. And I think you can bulk filter things as well. All right, so any questions about a color story? Cool. It's a lot, but it's all on the paper.
No, but that's awesome.
Yeah, it's my favorite. It's a really, really good app. Okay, so the next one is VSCO. This one, while a color story is good for the super bright, colorful photos, this is good for moody, like nature photography, stuff with a vintage vibe. Think about those like hipster camping guys on Instagram. This is the filters for them. So let's choose a photo. You're gonna go in first, hit the plus, and import a photo. No. So we're going to go with this one and hit the check. And then with one photo selected, you're going to hit this little toggle icon at the bottom to edit. And then it's going to give you a lot of really good filters. As you can see, these are very pretty and have a super cool vintage vibe. Same thing as a color story. The key is to dial it down so it looks subtle. So you just click on the filter after you apply it, click a second time, and you can adjust. And then if you go to the toggle icon down here, you're going to get a lot of similar editing options, like in a color story. So really the filters are the key for this app, VSCO. So, does that make sense? All right, next let's look at Skrwt, SKRWT. I like to take a lot of architecture photography when I travel, and if you're obsessed with straight lines and symmetry, this is the app that's made for you. So we're going to hit the top option, and then let me find the photo I want to use. So we're going to import this. And then when you look at this photo, because I'm obviously taking the photo from the ground, the columns are kind of going up at an angle. If I want to adjust that perspective, I'm going to choose the icon that looks like that. And then as we do this dial, we can watch the lines get straight. It's pretty magic. And so now it looks like we're straight on. It's almost like you're hovering in midair above the building with a drone. And then you can do the same thing with the other direction. Let me find that photo. Okay, so this one, we're going to import it, and then I'm going to straighten this a little bit. Always straighten it first, or else the perspective will be super crazy. And then it looks like we're a little off center, so I'm going to do this option and then make that side a little bit bigger, and then it gets more symmetrical. So Does that
Can
make
you
sense?
adjust that one the same way?
Up and down?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, you can do both. So that might actually look good. So there's that. I mean, it's going to adjust the crop of your photo, so sometimes it gets wonky, but it's pretty good. Okay, then the last one is called Touch Retouch. This is magic. I don't know how it does it. It's so cool. You can retouch photos, so let's choose a photo. Here's this one, and I really hate this red box that's on the side over here. And so what you can do, I'm going to go to the Object Removal tool on the bottom left, and then you can zoom in, and you're just going to draw over the item that you want to remove. And it's pretty insane. Then you hit go, and it removes it. I don't like this. It doesn't work perfectly on every photo, and you can see like the lines right here are perfectly lined up, so it's not perfect. Like, I don't know how it replicated that chair to make it look that good. It's just magic. But let's do a different one. It's also really good for removing power lines. So this isn't exactly a power line, but it's the best one I could find. You know, if you're taking a photo of a building or a sunset or whatever, sometimes it just drives me crazy. There's a power line right in the middle of it. And so there's a line removal tool, and it automatically selects the line when you click on it and removes it. So that's pretty cool. And then there is under Quick Repair, there's a blemish remover button, so if you want to edit your selfies or portraits, you can do that as well. So that one's pretty cool. Any questions on that? Yeah, it is awesome. Alrighty. So on your sheet on the last page, there is a bunch of other apps that are really fun. So play around with those, see which ones you like. And one of the cool ones, I forget what it's called, but if you've seen those people on Instagram with the videos of like the little sparkle things, I think it's called Kira or something. That's the app that does that. There's a ton of other ones, so those are fun. All right, now let's talk about Instagram stories. So we're gonna go back to Instagram. All right, whenever you are on your feed, the little circles at the top are all the Instagram stories. So these are short 15-second videos that people record throughout the day. It's similar to Snapchat. This is a feature that Instagram released to compete with Snapchat stories, and since then Snapchat has kind of been on the decline because people like to have all their things in one place. I mean, Snapchat's still plenty popular, but Instagram's definitely dominating. So this is going to show the people that you're following automatically, but if you feel like you just have too many stories in here and you just want to focus on your favorite people, you can hold down on one of them and mute that person. They don't get a notification. It's not, they're not going to get mad at you, but it'll clean up your feed and just show you the ones that you want to see every day. So whenever you click one of these, I don't know what she's doing today. You can watch different posts. If you hold down on it, it's going to pause. If you click, it's going to skip to the next video in their feed. And then if you slide from the right to the left, it's going to go to the next person's story. And then if you swipe down, you can get out of it. So that's how that works. If you want to post an Instagram story, you can either click the camera in the top left, or you can swipe to the side over to it. And then, let's see. I don't know if I said this, but stories only last 24 hours and then they expire. So, but there's a new feature. I don't know why my text messages are showing up. Sorry, guys. There's a new feature where you can now, wait, I don't have it. Oh, why does she not have it? Hold on. You can now add what's called stories highlights. So if you want to save something and allow your followers to come back and watch one of your stories later, I'll show you how to add them, but you can add these highlights to your stories, and people can go back in and watch old ones that you've decided to publish there. So that's very fun. All right, so let's talk about how to edit and use stories. So we're going to go to the camera, and to take a photo, you're just going to click this button once, and then to take a video, you're going to hold down, and you'll see that little ring going around it. There, and then you can watch it as you draw on it or do other stuff. What else? Okay, there's different ways that you can post. So you can do normal. If you swipe over to the side, you can start a live, Instagram Live. Do you guys all know what boomerangs are? It's where the video will repeat itself. And then super zoom, if you guys haven't seen this, I wish I could find an example, but it's so hilarious. It will automatically zoom in on the photo and go like dun dun dun, or there's different sounds you can choose. If you may have seen those. So there's TV show, oh wait, if you hit the sound button, bounce, I don't remember what these different, dramatic is the dun 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 one. There's a couple different options. It's pretty hilarious. And then it puts like a purple thing around. Yeah, but well, let's see if it'll do the sound. It's so funny. Okay, let's see if it'll play the sound. Yeah, we'll do it again. It's funny. Yeah, it's so funny. And then rewind plays your videos in reverse. So that's fun if you're like, I don't know, pouring water into a glass or doing something else weird. Hands-free. If you want to set your camera somewhere and then record yourself dancing or doing something weird, if you want to record a video, you don't have to hold it down. You can hit the button and it'll record while it's sitting there. Then stop motion. I haven't seen that many people use this, but you can take different photos and it'll stitch them together as a video. Come on. How does it? I don't know how to make it play. I guess you can just swipe through. Anyway. Oh, done. So, cool. That's the different ways that you can film. Then let's talk about how to customize your stories. So if you don't want to record or use a photo that you're taking live in the app, you can swipe up from the bottom and see all of your pictures from your camera roll. So this is a dog from Instagram that I screenshotted. Its fro is so big. Yeah, okay, so we'll use this as our example. Well, that's too confusing because it has words on it. But, okay, we'll do this one. So whenever you post a photo that's older than the last 24 hours, it's automatically going to put this date on it, and you can leave it, you can move it around, or you can drag it to the trash down here and get rid of it. Then, oh, I didn't show you something else. The most important thing, when you're on the camera, you can switch to selfie, and there's the face filters. So, oh my goodness, I have not seen these ones. That's so funny. So, anyway, those are fun. All right, so we've got our photo. If you swipe side to side, you're going to get different filters on your photo. I mean, you can edit it before you upload it if you want to, but those are pretty good. Then you can write text by choosing the text option. And you can resize it. You can change the angle. If you want to change the font size, you can do it with this slider on the side. And then you can change the color. So you can choose from these colors that it shows, or you can hold down and choose any color. Or let's say I want to match this orange in the photo, you choose this dropper, and then you can find the color that you want there. Go back to black. You can also click, hold on, this button at the top, and it'll put a box around your text. It can do it, you can't really see, but it'll do it as solid or as opaque. Maybe if we change the color, you can see it. So there's the solid Sarah. You can see it in there. So there's that. You can resize that. What else? Okay. Then you can draw a ton of things. So choose the pen option. And there's a regular pen. There's a marker size if you want it to be fatter. You can adjust the size of all of these on the side. And then there's a magic marker, which has glowing stuff around it. And then this specialty one on the side, it changes sometimes. Right now it's this crayon or chalk, but sometime, like at Christmas, it was candy cane writing. They have all different ones. So I'm gonna get rid of all this. And then if you want to just start out and cover your picture with a completely blank color, you go into the marker, choose your color, and just hold down on the screen, and it covers the whole thing. Then I've seen some people do really cool things where they will erase part of it to reveal what's behind. So you could do that, and then on the next slide you could reveal what the full thing is. That's pretty fun. Then my favorite thing is the stickers. So at the top there's a sticker icon. You're gonna get some specialty ones. So there is, you can do your location, you can do the temperature. This is just the temperature of where you are right now. You can't change that to whatever you want. You can do the date. You can do a selfie sticker, and then your face becomes a sticker. You can do a hashtag. This is what I was talking about earlier, and we'll go over a little bit more later. If you put hashtags on your post, you could show up in the story for that hashtag, so that's always good to do. Then, based on the day of the week or the season, there's going to be specialty ones, so like the Wednesday ones aren't always there. Something cool I saw someone do, this is see-through, so if you wanted the letters to be another color, like let's say we want them to be pink, you can go in and draw, and it's going to draw behind it. So that's kind of fun. Then what else? We've got seasonal ones, and then a bunch of just crazy ones that you can use anytime. And then it's got all the emojis. So rather than typing an emoji, these emoji stickers are going to be higher quality, so you can make them bigger and it looks a little bit better. All right. Oh, okay. We need to take a video. Not of me. Okay. If you take a video, I'm going to go to normal. We're going to zoom in. Rebecca, wave your hand in the air, like big. Okay, cool. Let's see if this works. All right, so you can take a sticker, and if you hold it down, wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. Hold it down. I'm going to resize it. You can place it somewhere. You can choose what part of the video you want to place it to. We're going to do it at the beginning. And then pin it, and it'll stick to that thing.
Oh my God.
You can do it with words or with stickers or anything. So
That's awesome.
it's pretty cool. So you can have like panning around a room, and if you want to like tag different people, you could pin it. Even if they're not moving, it'll stay on that person as you pan. It's pretty cool. Okay. Oh, this is the best. I keep saying it's my favorite thing, but this really is my favorite thing. Okay, we're going to start with white so I can show you. And then let's type something. Okay, have you guys ever seen the rainbow text that people make in Instagram? Okay, this is a little tricky, but it's super cool, so watch carefully. You're going to tap, or you're going to press on your text and select all of it. Come on. Okay, then you're going to put one finger here. Oh no. That's good. Okay, you're going to put one finger here and one finger holding down on the colors. So holding down on that until you get all the colors. Then you're going to drag both at the same time. And it makes it a rainbow. It's pretty cool. So this is advanced stories techniques. And then, you can do whatever you want with that. You could also do it where it's all like shades of the same color. So we could do like a blue gradient. You'll just go up within that color. Awesome. All right, let's go back to the presentation and look at some examples of stories. So if you're wondering what to share on stories, the first thing is just to start watching them every day. You'll get ideas from other people that you follow. But most people just document different things that are going on in their day. I pretty much just post funny things that my dog does. But you can show behind the scenes if you're working on a project. Obviously there's super hilarious people, a lot of comedians. So if you're super funny, then go for the jokes. And then if you want to have your Instagram feed be, super unified looking, all very edited, high quality photos, you can share your less curated moments on stories where, you just got out of bed or whatever. Something that's not as beautiful. All right, here's some ideas. So all of this you can do with the skills we just talked about. You could just do different, you'll type each piece of the text separately, and you can resize them to follow the size of an item. You can resize text to fill your entire screen, or you could do that box text in a couple different colors. Then here's an example of that erasing. So this guy shares iPhone wallpapers. He's a photographer, and so he'll tease it with one story and erase part of it, and then in the next one you can see the complete photo with nothing on it. Sugar and Cloth, she shared this as a fun guessing game with her followers and just revealed a couple of parts of her old car, and you had to guess what it was based only on that. And then if you want to spend a lot of time on your stories, you can take each individual letter and make it follow different shapes. I don't know how people have good handwriting on stories. I have tried and it always looks terrible. I don't know if it's a stylus or whatever. If y'all figure it out, let me know. Some people are able to do beautiful handwriting, so give it a try. Here's rainbow in where they've broken out all the different letters to follow a curve, or you could just do the same thing in different colors, different sizes. One thing a lot of people do is they'll do all caps and do a space between each letter just to make something have a little bit more impact. And then something that we did on the blinds.com Instagram, we took the same emoji again and again and resized it different ways. You can layer two different colors of text on top of each other. What you'll do to do that is create one version of it, copy the whole thing, paste it in a new text box, change the color, and it'll work. Also, in Instagram stories, if you have more than 10,000 followers, you will be given the option to allow people to swipe up in your stories to look at a link. So if you're doing that, it's always good to tell people to swipe up so that just it's a little bit more visible. We've actually, for blinds.com, every time we post a new blog post, we have this graphic that I created in Photoshop, and we have a little swipe up box built into it. All right, let's talk about marketing. So if you have a business and you want to promote it on Instagram, the first thing is just to post high quality edited photos like we've already talked about. Make things that are beautiful that people want to interact with and come back and see more of. If you switch your profile from a personal account to a business account, you'll be able to go in and see analytics for your posts. So this is an example of it on the left. You can go in and sort your posts by ones that got the most engagement, the most views, and you'll be able to start to see what's working. Do people love my photos of my dog the most, or are the food photos doing best? You can just see what's working best. Then A great thing to grow your brand is to get personal, whether that's really opening up and sharing who you are on stories or in your captions. People respond really well to that if you're showing who you really are. If you are a fashion or home blogger, a great thing to do is to tag the sources. So if you post a photo of your room, tag all the different companies, like I got this from Wayfair, I got this from HomeGoods, and companies will get notifications that you've tagged them, and they might just share your photo with their followers, or post a screenshot in their stories or something like that and give you a little bit more publicity. And it's also helpful to your followers who want to see where you got something if they want to get the look. Then engage with your audience. So reply to them in your direct messages and in your comments. Don't let people think that you're just posting stuff and then forgetting about it, and don't care about the people that follow you. And then a great way to grow your profile is to engage with your community. So whatever you're posting about, whether it's one topic or many topics, find the leaders in your community. Start following them, comment on their posts, engage with them. Be helpful if their followers are asking questions in their comments. Really support your community, and it's going to come back, and people are going to support you as well.
Is there a cost between the individual and business one?
No. It's free. Some people think that your profile is treated a little bit differently in the algorithm, but if you have a business, it's worth it to switch to a business profile, for sure. You get a lot more access to information. Okay, let's talk about hashtags. Hashtags are so important. So whenever you're trying to figure out what hashtags to use on your post, you can definitely look at what other people similar to you are using. That's a great place to start. But you can also think about what tags describe what it is you're selling and what describe your target market. So like if you're selling high-end jewelry, you might want to do hashtag luxury woman, or that sounds really weird, but something that describes that person. Or if it's camping related, find the hashtags that describe camping people. Sorry, guys. Then whenever you're using hashtags, you might think, oh, I'll just use the ones that are super, super popular, like hashtag love or hashtag fun or whatever. But because there's so many posts going out with that tag, it's easy for your stuff to get buried. So it's good to use hashtags that are under 5,000 uses. And whenever you go to Instagram and click on a hashtag, it'll tell you how many uses it has on there. So that's a sweet spot. Every hashtag gives you exposure and more chances for people to find you. So I really encourage you to use all 30. You don't have to, but it certainly doesn't hurt if you're trying to grow your page. We already talked about putting hashtags in the bottom of your caption, separating it out, or you can actually put them in the first comment on your post. So you can go ahead and publish your post and then go and push the hashtags in the comment. You can also start your own hashtag. So over here on the left is a hashtag from a brand called A Beautiful Mess, and they actually created the A Color Story app, so they're really great to follow. But they started this ABM Life is Colorful, and their fans and followers post tons of colorful things with this, and they'll go in and repost some of those every day to highlight different people of their followers. So their followers are really motivated to use it, and it creates this great community for people to interact with each other. And then we already talked about following hashtags. As you define what your main hashtags are going to be, go in and follow those. So they'll pop up in your feed, and you can like and comment on those posts, and the people that use the hashtags are probably likely to be interested in your business. And then we talked about using hashtags in stories. When you're putting your text in there, you can use a hashtag, and you have a chance to get picked up in the Instagram story for the hashtag. More marketing tips. Your profile has one place where you can put a link in it. If you don't have more than 10,000 followers, you won't get that swipe up option in Instagram stories. But this is, link to your website, link to the thing that you're promoting right now. A lot of people will say in their caption, hey, go to the link in my profile to read this blog post or whatever it is. And there are tools where it turns that link into a page that shows all your Instagram photos. And if people click on the photo that you've associated the link with, you can, like, it's hard to explain. Let me show you the one for blinds.com. Have y'all seen this before? Hold on. Okay. So we have this link. It's from a company called Have to Have It. There's several other companies that do it. But it makes this page, and it shows all your photos, and I've connected each photo to the products that are in the photo. So when you click, it'll take you to that link. Does that make sense? That way you can have more than just one link that you have to remember to switch out all the time. And then if somebody's looking at not your latest photo, that link's gone. So this is a great option to do that. Yep, yeah, thanks for coming. Another thing is to put a call to action in your Instagram bio to point people to your link. And then use the stories highlights as kind of a get to know you guide for your followers. So I really want to do this for blinds.com. We haven't done it yet, but I want to do stories around each different category. So someone could go in or, have a story around how to shop blinds.com. So if they're a new follower, they can go in and kind of find out everything that we're about based on those highlights. Or maybe you have a about highlight for new people. We already talked about reposting customer photos. That's a great way to really engage your audience. If your customers are wearing your clothing or using your, body wash or whatever your product is, repost those customer photos as they submit them. And then a great thing for marketing is to schedule posts with a tool like a Color Story. There's also SoldZ, Hootsuite, and Sprout Social that do that as well. Okay, we're almost out of time, but I'll go really quick. A great way to get followers and to get respect on Instagram is to have a feed that looks super uniform. So you can do it by colors. We already talked about alternating your photos so you're not posting like 3 selfies in a row or 3 food photos in a row. You can see that they posted this busy photo with the leaves and the shoes here and then balanced it out with a more minimalist one of this kid just on a white background. So that's a great way to give your feed a good look, and then obviously they're sticking to blue in every photo and just looks really professional. We'll look at some examples. Right here, this girl, everything is pink, black, and white. I don't know how she does it, if her whole wardrobe is just that, or in her whole house, but it looks really great. This company, their logo is yellow, so they incorporate yellow into everything they do. Or you can do it with filters. So over here on the left, all of these photos have a similar filter with a vintage vibe, and it ties them all together. And then Kim Kardashian, either her content or her filters all have this purplish pink tone, and it just gives it a uniform look. Another thing you can do is, with the Color Story, I think you can do this, you can add blocks of white to the top or the bottom of your posts. And that is great if you want to post something that's skinnier or wider than Instagram allows, but it also, you can alternate portrait and landscape, and it gives you this staggered gallery look. You can also post in 3s so that the photos in every row go together, and Taco Bell does a really good job of this. You can even do it where there's an app in your sheet that tells you how to do it, but you can make your photos connect so that it looks like one giant photo.